This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will, A Wonderful World. In the last episode, we continued solving letters of issues of humans that seem pointless in the long run, but we did help a cat save his daddy, and Chang got into almost got to a man-on-man relationship with Kang, though I guess that's not the true story. So for those of you who are shipping those two, I guess it's not canon, but you still got your head fan fiction at least. So anyway, in this episode, let's check back with Alicia and Chang and see what happens to them next. Hopefully Alicia was able to get away from the human traffickers, but who knows? What voice did I give her again? Hong Kong was a strange city. It was quite small, but it felt like a big city. Well, it was busy and rich. There were so many people, poor people, including numerous homeless people wandering the streets. I'd hoped to go to America, but I ended up being kidnapped and brought to Hong Kong. I didn't have any money on me. I didn't know if I could even survive here, not to mention go to America. I began to look at the hiring flyers on the walls. Man, I wonder how hard it would be for people like from other countries to go to like places like China to get work, because I mean we're right now we're pretty bad on a lot of things, but what about other countries that are more like, if you're not a citizen, then F off, we're pretty bad, but we're definitely not the worst when it comes to it. We're pretty, like I said, we're pretty bad. But anyway, back to the actual game. I began to look at the hiring flyers on the wall. Teamsters, engineers, masseurs, a lot of places were hiring, but I didn't know how to do any of those jobs. But one day I saw that there was a nightclub looking for a pub singer. The club was called Melody Hall. It sat in the middle of the most popular location on Portland Street in Bangkok. The club was huge, and the guests were all dressed like royalty. Everyone that came to audition for the job was sitting in the lobby waiting for their turn. Several middle-aged men were sitting below the stage looking terribly bored. Now we finally get to see what she looks like. Oh, lovely Mamacita. Oh, I guess she's a little bit too young to be called Mamacita. But anyway, I chose to sing one of my favorite songs when it was my turn. It was a folk song from my hometown. It is called Little Lamb Billy. I've never heard that before. Well, apparently it's local in Mexico, so that makes sense. After my parents had passed away, my brother and I were sent to the orphanage. For a long time afterwards, Carlos seemed to have shut down entirely. He could sit there for an entire day without saying a single word, and now he's a gang member. He was only 3. There was nothing near the orphanage but hills and mountains. I liked to take him hiking and would talk to him on top of the mountain or sing to him. He would stay there for a whole day sometimes. However, he still wasn't talking. One day when I was singing, I thought to myself, was this going to last forever? Was this real life? Would Carlos never talk to me again? Ironic, think about what's going on right now. Or not ironic, you know what I mean. I had to start the song. I couldn't stop myself from thinking depressing thoughts. I cried. Why are you crying, Alicia? Oh. Why are you crying, Alicia? Carlos was pulling at my arm, and I saw him looking at me with his clear eyes. That day he'd finally returned to me. The song I had been singing that day was Little Lamb Billy. I stood in front of the elevator. I was thinking about the song that I just sang, the days when we lived in the orphanage. I couldn't help but hum that song again. I felt the sun tap on my shoulder. It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Miss, there's something that you should know. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It was quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you who has no papers. You won't be able to find another job in all of Hong Kong. However, I think you are really terrific. I'd love to hire you as long as you... As he was speaking, his hand was moving down from my shoulder on my back, and it kept moving down even further. Of course. Sexual favors. I was taken aback and tried to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. I had never been in a situation like this in my entire life. Man, to survive human traffickers to all of a sudden being harassed by a guy who basically says, if you don't do this, you're not going to get any work. You might as well please me, if you know what I mean. You're like, oh God. I was horrified. I tried to shake him off with all my strength. I scratched his face with my nails, leaving a red mark. He felt his face with his hand as I was running away. You ungrateful little bitch! You people! Go grab her! Uh-oh. I ran into a small alley and hid behind a dumpster. After what seemed to be an eternity, I could no longer hear the people who were running after me. I fell to the ground. I felt violated and ashamed. Tears were rushing out of my eyes as if all my suffering had come back to haunt me. Carlos, I miss you so much. Alicia. Man, it sucks what she's going through, that's for sure. Well, maybe Carlos' story will be a little bit nicer. Probably not. I'd be assigned here for a week. For the past few days, I've been trying to find an opportunity to write my transfer application and submit to Lieutenant Kang. Well, after that awkward situation in the sauna, it'd be harder than then. Yet every time when I sat down and tried to fill out the form, Lieutenant Kang would throw a bunch of paperwork at me and make me follow them. It was almost like he knew I was up to. Even though in his story he said he wanted to get rid of this kid at the closest moment, but none of this made any sense at all. As a police officer, shouldn't I be patrolling the city to stop crimes and helping people with everything I had? Probably. Everything be I've never worked in a police department, so I don't know all the details. Even be ready to sacrifice myself for justice at a moment's notice. But this was so boring. Thank God I could still sometimes chat with Officer Min Jun, a more senior officer in Unit 4, who would have exploded out of boredom by now. Usually at this point, Min Jun would say, "I'll lend you a grenade then." Min Jun liked making these kind of morbid firearm jokes, although I rarely found them funny. Life sucked. I poured myself another glass and chugged it. I was at a bar called Crash, where I would always come whenever I was feeling down. Every day after midnight, the bar would turn into a carnival. But around sunset, the atmosphere here was actually really nice, and it was the best time to come here and drink alone. I was sitting by the window and staring at these streets blankly. Some words for the conversation at the next table suddenly caught my attention. A bald man in a Hawaiian shirt raised his bottle and said, "I must be a tourist, Bro, have you heard about what happened to Group Gangman a few days ago?" His buddy, who was wearing a pair of beach shorts and sporting the most ridiculous hairstyle, laughed. "Of course, it's been hurting all over our group you saw. That was really brutal for them to blow off half the head of Cho Yun-han's son. Only Kang Baek-ya has the balls to do that." My ears perked up when I heard Lieutenant Kang's name out of the blue like that. The bald man continued. I think it's pretty rad that Bastard's always so fucking annoying. Or, I think that's the deal. He would come to our turf all the time and look for trouble, just because of his good old daddy. Crazy-haired guy interrupted him. "Shut the fuck up, you idiot. Don't let anyone hear you say that. You're gonna get Boss Jew in trouble." The bald man immediately concurred. "Oh, sure. By the way, I also heard that Cho Yun-han is setting up a trap for Kang Baek-ya. It is gonna be epic." Crazy-haired guy sounds surprised. "Hey, watch it. Don't get so close to me." "Wait, what do you mean by setting up a trap?" The bald man explained. "I heard that they had something on Kang Baek-ya, and they'll use the force to turn himself over. You can guess what they're going to do to him next. I think it's supposed to be going down tonight, over the warehouse by the port." Who talks like that? The crazy-haired guy didn't seem like he was buying it. "Really? You think that would work? Kang was tough enough to take out a whole team on his own." The bald man got excited. "We'll find out. Eventually, apparently they prepared barrels and concrete. I've heard something about some other big surprise. Oh, it's a trap." You know what I mean. Anyway, no matter which side loses, our boss Jew will be happy either way. I bet he's been looking forward to this day for a long time. I sobered up completely. I quickly checked my cell phone. It was 9 p.m. Now that I thought about it, Lieutenant Kang had gotten a delivery earlier today, and he had left the office soon afterwards. Oh, I'm doing my wrong voice. Did the delivery have anything to do with the trap? I knew I didn't quite get along with Lieutenant Kang, but no matter what, he was on the side of justice. Now that I knew he was in danger, there's no way I could sit aside and let it happen. I sneaked to the bathroom and immediately called the lieutenant. Nobody picked up. I then called the police station. Someone told me that nobody from Unit 4 was available. I had a really bad feeling. If I didn't get in trouble with the lieutenant as soon as possible, the door opened and a person walked out. My reaction had been slowed down because of the alcohol. The young man who had come out of the stall grabbed me by my hair and slammed me in the mirror above the sinks. Clink! The mirror was smashed and there was broken glass all over the ground. Just before I passed out, I heard someone say, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all good night." Oh, sorry, we're past Christmas, sorry. "You dirty cop, you killed my brother. No, are you trying to snitch on your own turf? Screw you!" When I woke up, I found myself lying in a big empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars through the windows high above the wall. Oh man, how long have I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Chang Gyeong-Min. Oh, well, I don't know. Alright, let's solve this mystery. Alright, so... Oh, well, this one only has 2. It's like, what options do you really have? So... Alright, let's go with the obvious bad ones first. Well, I guess it's not pretty obvious, but you never know. Or, go with the ones on both sides and see what happens. He was close to the mid who's been sitting below the stage earlier. Yes, there's something you should know. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It was quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you as the papers. You won't be able to find another job in Hong Kong. However, I think you are really... Okay, as long as you... in my back. What lobby? Oh. I looked to the lobby, but I could no longer see the person who had just come out of the elevator. No one could help me now. I was taken aback and tried to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. I'd never been in a situation. Seemed horrified. We've read that before. Okay, that's the same. What was the only thing difference on that was the elevator. Like her mentioning something about the elevator. I checked the time again. It was almost 9:30 p.m. It was safe to go straight to the port, as I didn't know how many people the enemy had. I hadn't received my weapon yet, as that had only been my first week. It wouldn't be terribly useful for me personally, but it'd still be better than nothing. I should at least go back to the station and check out a gun. Perhaps I could even find some backup. I hoped I could make it in time. I left the bar. A cold breeze blew over my face. I shuddered and felt myself sobering up a little more. I hailed a cab. I kept urging the driver to speed up. In the end, it took me 30 minutes to arrive rather than the usual 60. Barf! As soon as I opened the door, I threw up all over the ground. The old driver looked at me emotionless and handed me the bill and a napkin. I just ran through red lights for you. I'll give you a discount for being a police officer. Oh, that's his rank S? Huh. Well, got that conveniently so. Alright, let's retry that again. Alright. Actually, maybe set that so we guarantee the bad ending for... Okay, so she's got 5. He's got 5 as well. We probably already hit our bad endings, I bet. So, okay, so let's retry, and then let's just do... let's do that one, because obviously if doing nothing for him works, doing nothing for her will give her something, like maybe even the S in her. My reaction had slowed down because of the alcohol. The young man had just come in the stall, snatched the phone out of my hand. I was about to take it back when I felt my hair get pulled from behind, along with something sharp and cold in my neck. Don't move. Don't make any sounds. Otherwise, you know the deal. The voice sounded extremely familiar, but I couldn't place it. It blindfolded me. I felt myself being led outside of the bar. I felt myself being thrown in a vehicle, and I passed out as soon as I smelled something strange. When I woke up, I found myself in the big, empty warehouse. The gate was locked from outside. I could see the evening stars through the windows up high above the wall. Oh man, how long had I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? A few days later, I came back to Melody Hall. They had put a list of people who had been hired up to the entrance. My name wasn't on it. I hadn't eaten anything in 2 days. My stomach hadn't even had the energy to grumble anymore. I dragged my drained body with me, wandering along the Hong Kong streets like a ghost, and kept looking for a job. So her B ending is just going, well, I'm starving, well, whatever, you know. Okay, so we got her B ending, and we got his bad and S ending. Does that make sense? Alright, let's retry that again. Let's see. Let's do that one. Let's see what that gets us. Whoops. Let's do this, see what happens. Since it's only 2, we only have so many options anyway, so... I turned around. It's Officer Min Jun. Thank God you're here, sir. Min Jun seemed shocked after I told him about what I just heard outside. He said the lieutenant might still be at his own place. It wasn't too far from here. We should hurry over and see if we can catch him in time. With Min Jun leading the way, we were running as fast as we could towards Lieutenant Kang's home. Then we came across a small, dark alleyway without any lights. Min Jun seemed to be out of breath, and he slowed down. He pointed at the 2-story apartment building not too far off in front of us and told me that it was the lieutenant's building. I decided to keep going ahead. Before I could run a few more steps, I suddenly felt a sharp pain on the back of my head. I felt dizzy and lost my balance. I hadn't even seen the road anymore. I fell to the ground and blacked out. When I woke up, it was almost daylight. Officer Min Jun was lying next to me. Neither of us seemed to have our wallets. Oh man, how could this happen? Was Lieutenant Kang already? Well, that sounds like that, didn't it? Someone unusually tall just left out the elevator wearing an even more unusual ensemble. A pair of high red heels, a pair of black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. I couldn't tell if it's a man or a woman. I walked past this person in the elevator and pressed the button for the first floor. The person kept locking into the lobby. Okay. Rank A's are interesting, but alright. Yeah, it's kind of weird what the difference between like a rank A, S, and B and all that is, and you know how a rank A could be they're in danger but they're not dead or super in trouble, but still. All right. And then obviously, let's see, what do we got? Let's see, we haven't got our S1 or his bad one. So let's see if we reset it. That's. Maybe if we do this one, get some of his bad ending. Because we're just missing one more option there. Okay, and then we'll get the S ending for her. So this is his other bad ending. I turn around as Officerman June. Thank God you're here. Before I could finish my sentence, the young man who had just come out of the stall sneaked up behind me, grabbed me by the hair and slammed me in the mirror of the sink. Okay, that's kind of repeating. I heard someone saying, screw you. Oh, sorry. I should have been reading that. He said, I saw Officer Min Junes in the corner of my eye. He's just sitting there staring at me. When I woke up, so, okay. It was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars in the windows high above the wall. Officer Min Jun here wasn't here with me. Why hadn't he helped me? I reached into my pocket, opened, checked the time of my phone, but wasn't on me. Probably been taken away by someone. Damn it! Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Sounds like Min Jun might be working with them or something like that. It's kind of weird how the S rank doesn't even tell you that that's the case. You have to get the other ranks to even find out that that's even possible. Which does it? I mean, I guess it matters to us as the player for maybe solving the mysteries, but as the gods, why would they care, right? So anyway, all right. So and then obviously, since his was nothing, got him the best rank. In this case, it'll just be what order we put in to get her best rank, so which will be this one. But since we only have two options, obviously that's not going to take very long for us to do that. Miss, there's something you should know. One of the men had been sitting below the stage earlier. Oh, I'm just going to wait till he... Terrific. Hire you, as long as you talking about wanting to give him a happy ending, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I would be okay with this in my real life. Scratching his face. He doesn't like that. Hey, that was embarrassing. Someone who just gotten out of the elevator stood in front of me. A pair of high-red heels, a pair of tight black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. If it weren't for the voice, no one would have guessed that was the man wearing them if they saw them from behind. Ah, crossdresser. Or, I mean, not to be... Well, it depends. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but there's you either do it because you like... You either wear it because you like it, but you don't actually consider yourself a woman. That's cross-dressing, which is similar to people like Ed Wood and stuff like that. They dress like that because they just like that felt, and that's it. And then there's more detail, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Just, actually, I don't even know this person. Hell, they could be trans for all I know, so let's just leave it at that until we get further in the story. For the manager of the Melody Hall to dare do something like this in public, what would your boss say if he heard about this? Fine, just on my lucky day then. The manager shot to me, stirred the looked around and walked back into the lobby. The game says a cross-dressing man, so there you go. The cross-dressing man turned to me and smiled widely. Hello, pretty little girl. Would you like to get a drink at my place? Isn't that... She got away from that one dude because he kind of threatened like that. He's all... The other guy seems to be... Well, I don't know. I guess he helped her out, so I guess it can't be all that bad. But all right, we did it. We got our S rank for these, so... Oh, time to take a break, apparently. You asked me how deeply I love you. What on earth are you doing? I'm singing. I didn't know you sing. What was the name of that song? The moon represents my heart. How does she still know this song? I thought What are you mumbling about? I mean, of course, the song. Everyone in China knows the song. Question mark, question mark. Why are you suddenly in the mood to sing? When I read Alicia's story about her singing, all of a sudden a lot of music just popped in my head out of nowhere. So I was thinking, maybe I was a singer before I died. But you're a god. What? Isn't the... Yeah, exactly. So, but before you died? I've heard stories how some people become gods when they die with unfulfilled wishes. Must be why I know these songs, right? Aren't there usually ghost stories, not god stories? Although, if that had been the case, would my powers have been something to do with singing? What do you mean? For example, what if my singing had healing powers? We're not playing Lunar here, you know. Or maybe my song can bring people to peace to people at war. We're not playing Artanelico here either. How unimaginative. We have been alive for a long time. There's nothing strange about us knowing about songs, or some song. Gods are supposed to know everything. If it weren't for your memory loss, I'm sure you would remember even more. Well, that makes sense. I guess I was never a singer. Now I feel sad. I didn't know you wanted to sing so much. Look, I made you some osmanthus cake. Wow. Nothing more powerful than sweets. Enjoy the cake. Remember to do your work after you finish your snack. I'll see you later. Wait, I haven't heard you sing yet. Before you go, sing me something. Sternly, I will not. Mumbles with mouth stuffed. You are my servant. You are my servant. You cannot say no to my request. No. As your servant, my duty is to supervise your work, and saying no to you is one of my rights. ... Well then, what if I serve you some tea? I made the tea. How about I wash your feet? Well, someone has a fetish. I just washed it myself. Well, would you like me to comb your hair? Okay, that was like a blatant change of art design, like just poking big old eyes at them. Should have been an art like seeing the eyes bulge, like actual bulge with veins and stuff like that. It seems like someone just pasted two round eyes around him. I don't know. Anyway, what would you like to hear? Name it. Your face looks almost twisted. Well, let me think. Does that matter? I don't know. It could seem the same thing, I guess. I don't know. Let's just do that. I don't really care about you. These are all songs of terrorist Tang. Why wouldn't you pick something more exciting, more hardcore? To be fair, you've liked her music ever since you were little. Since I was little? Oh no, I mean you've always liked her music. Anyway, I happen to know this one. Listen up, I'm going to sing now. If I never met you, where would I be? My darling, can you hear me? Please don't leave me. Without you nearby, I no longer feel need, love in the slightest. What do you think? Satisfied. ... I've been curious. Why is it that the only sound we make when we talk is a deep beep? Even the tone is always the same. Even when we were singing, it was nothing more than some rhythmic beeping. You're only now noticing that? Well, we are gods, after all, not humans. We have our own unique qualities. We should focus on them. Speaking of which, how's work been recently? Oh, it's been going pretty well. My only complaint is that there's so many letters. I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters to finish them. Don't you have enough time? You're gods, right? What time is even a part of your, reality and everything? You don't have to work that hard. We're not on the same timeline as humans. It doesn't really matter to them when we handle their letters. The most important thing about being God is to enjoy yourself. Huh, is that how being a god's like? That's okay. I enjoy being myself. It feels so great to be able to help people. I'm really happy. Okay then, as long as you're happy. Oh, by the way, we haven't forgotten about something important. Or, haven't we forgotten something about something important? Man with mouth full. But pig. Come? Oh, there are new letters here. I need to start working. He got tricked. I knew it. Apparently dogs really like getting their hair combs. Alright, we got 3 new letters now. VR Rules, Special Op Midnight, and Jack. Jack, the Pumpkin King. Well, since I don't want to do multiple stories right now, let's go to Alicia's next story. Since I don't think I'm gonna barely have enough time to finish this. I think I might even have to finish in the next episode. We'll see. There was a quiet street in Hong Kong. There was quite an alley on that quiet street. Quiet street, the crooked man with a crooked hat on the crooked mile. At the end of the alley, there was a coffee shop with a sign in the shape of a big leaf. Inside the shop sat its owner, who was a peculiar taste in clothes, at least in the opinion of many. I still vividly remember the first time I'd met him. He was wearing a pair of red high heels, a pair of skin-tight leather pants, and a lavish fluffy leather coat. I never understand anyone who wears high heels, whether it be men or women. Although, interesting enough, I've talked about this before, it was actually, I don't know if they're the first, but one of the most well-known cases of high heels was French aristocrats. Yeah, men made it for themselves, not for women, weirdly enough. It just, over the time, became a fashion of women more than men. He had always told us to call him Mama. That's not creepy at all. He's still identified as a man, but preferred dressing as women, so... Oh, no, he said still identified as a man, so he's a cross-dresser. So there you go, the game tells us what his, like RuPaul and stuff like that, right? I think RuPaul's a straight cross-dresser, I don't think he's trans. I think? Nah, it doesn't matter, I'm not here to make that debate, folks. We're just here to play the game. We all make our choices. He understands more than most that being different needs not to lead to loneliness. Mama saved my life. Well, I guess if he saved your life, then that's all that matters, right? Not until he had deceived me when I was being harassed by a pervert. He even let me work in his coffee shop. And he paid me 3,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. Is that a lot? I don't know. It wasn't much in Hong Kong, but I got to live in the coffee shop, so I could save up most of my salary and send it back to my brother back in Mexico. I hoped to help pay for school. There were a few other misfits like me who Mama had taken under his wing. Kang, who could never tell ketchup apart from jalapeno sauce. Wow, that's like, I don't know how you do that. Raja, who couldn't help seeing whenever he picked up a goblet. Jack, the pumpkin king, who would always light the table twice. We all had different colored skin, and we didn't speak each other's language, but we had all learned from learning from each other as well. We would often talk to each other in English, Cantonese, Mandarin, Spanish, all at once. Wow, that must be confusing as hell. Miraculous, we all usually managed to understand each other pretty well. We always had a great time together. We shared the same bedroom, 2 bunk beds. Jack slept in my top bunk, and Hang and Raja slept in the other one. Jack was only 15. He had curly blonde hair and a pair of clear blue eyes. Carlos was only a few years younger than him. When we had been in the orphanage, he and I slept in his bunk beds like this too. That is why I like to stare at the top bunk before I fell asleep, imagining that it was a 15-year-old Carlos sleeping up there. However, the peaceful days did not last far too long. Of course your wife didn't stay happy for long. Only Jack and I were in the shop that day. He had taken the trash out of the back door. He had just taken out the trash out of the back door. Moments later, I heard the muffled sound of fighting and yelling in the back. I ran out of the back door and saw a couple of tall, strong men pinning Jack to the ground, tying his hands and feet behind his back. Jack's lips were bleeding and he seemed to be unconscious. I wanted to run back upstairs to find Raja. I knew he was sleeping in the bedroom, but before I could, someone caught me from behind. Then my face was covered with a foul-smelling piece of wet cloth. Does it smell like chloroform to you? When I woke up, it was already deep into the night. Jack and I were locked inside what seemed to be a small warehouse. Did you get caught by the human smugglers again? Yeah. Jack woke up at almost the same time as me. We both looked out of the window and we could see the blinking neon lights of a busy Melody Hall. If I remember correctly, there was an auction house opposite Melody Hall. Mommy used to tell us that the auction houses on the street was not really legitimate. Human slaves, basically. Legendary paintings had gone missing. Oh. Rare or they'd been illegally smuggled in. The frozen spore of dead movie stars. I guess people are crazy enough to buy stuff like that, huh? Ancient mummies of an undetermined age. Panda bears. The giant panda are an endangered mammal whose only natural habitat is in southwest China. There are fewer than 2,000 giant pandas living in the wild nowadays. Because of their highly valuable status, gifting or releasing pandas to a foreign country has become a unique diplomatic operation for China. The so-called panda diplomacy. The earliest such transactions can be traced back to 685 AD, when Empress Consort Wu of the Tang Dynasty gifted 2 pandas to the Japanese Emperor Tenmu, along with 70 panda hides. I've heard pandas are kind of annoying animals in real life, like some people don't like them just in general, despite them being in danger and all this other stuff. Even exotic with young boys and girls. Ugh. As long as there was a buyer, there was nothing he wouldn't sell. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that type of stuff. Well, who would be a fan of that type of stuff? You know, it creeps me out more. He couldn't stay here. I had been through this once. Yeah, you'd think you wouldn't feel this happen to you multiple times in your lifetime, huh? This time I felt calm. I had to get myself out of here. I would take Jack with me, too. There was only one guard in the hallway. I slammed on the door to get him to come over. I told him that Jack had stopped breathing. He didn't think too much of it, perhaps because he thought we were just a couple of kids, so he opened the door and crouched next to Jack, who was playing dead. When he reached out to feel Jack's breath, I pulled the gun out of his waistband and pushed it against the back of his head. Man, she learned a lot from the previous encounter. She's like, I'm ready this time. Then we gagged his mouth, tied his hands, feet behind him, and locked him inside the room before he snuck it downstairs. And like I said, people, doesn't matter who you are, gun's a gun. We didn't run into anybody our way down to the reception desk. Just when I was about to celebrate our good fortune, someone yelled at us from behind. I turned around and saw a sleepy man who was holding a mug. He rubbed his eyes and slammed the mug onto the reception desk when he saw our faces. The alarm went off. I grabbed Jack's hand and we started running towards the port as fast as we could. 4, maybe 5 guys came after us from the auction house. There were lots of warehouses and small roads near the port that made it a complex maze. We had to play cat and mouse with our chasers before we could find a secure hiding place. At the southwest corner of the port, there was a recycling center. The center had a fenced-in lot that had piles of garbage in it. Only a couple of overtime workers were operating the crane. They would lift a dumpster high up and then dump everything into the lot. There were many extra-large dumpsters outside the lot. Jack and I had split up earlier, and I waved at Jack from a distance to come over. Jack, come over, send someone over. I forgot how that song goes. Anyway, their dumpsters were empty. Stop hiding, we saw you! I'm over here. I tried to draw attention to myself. They opened the cover of the dumpster. I walked out from the cargo containers not too far behind them. I tried to distract them. However, they had already opened the dumpster cover and seen Jack hiding inside. They didn't tie us up to avoid attracting too much attention. Instead, they surrounded us and marched us toward the auction house. If we didn't follow their orders, the guns in their waistbands would make us regret it. I fell into deep despair. Jack must have been so frightened too. I looked at him, but for a moment I thought I must have been mistaken. I thought I just caught him smiling. We were close enough to see the auction house when one of the guards' phones rang. Everyone was temporarily distracted by the phone, including me. But a gunshot interrupted the ringing. A guard had already fallen down. A bullet had just gone through his head. Jack had just shot him with a smile on his face. He had somehow taken a gun from one of the guards. He then turned around and shot the second guard right in the chest. He didn't waste any of the bullets. It was almost like magic. Magic! Soon all 5 guards were lying on the ground. Jack looked at me with a casual expression on his face. I don't know if I should go. Alicia, let's get out of here. I was still in shock with what just happened, and before I could say, okay, I heard another gunshot from far away, and then a splashing sound nearby. Jack dropped to his knees and slowly collapsed. Bright liquid was oozing out from a small hole in the middle of his forehead. The young man with the mug was standing behind us at a distance. Only this time he was carrying a gun instead of a mug. Mug gun? He started walking slowly towards us. I held my hands to my head and dropped to the ground, sobbing. Heavenly Father, why on earth would you let this happen to us? What have we done wrong? Because whoever's right, the story's an asshole. Alicia. Oh man. Looks like Alicia's got herself into another situation. Not on purpose, though. It's just somehow people like human trafficking around her and whatnot. So, will we be able to move around the notes and be able to save Alicia? Or is she doomed to being human trafficked forever? Find out next time in the next episode, Will, A Wonderful World. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.